everybody. My name is Rana, and I am part of the Park Slope Food Co-op cooking class squad. That means that I and the few other people in the room, so it's Susan, William, and Michael, and then some others who aren't here, each month put together a cooking class. And what that means is we get people like these guys behind me to put on a cooking class for something of their interest or specialty, whether they're co-op members or not, whether they're professional chefs or not. So tonight's class is hot sauce. So we have Max, Jake, Jocelyn, and Dahlia. They're going to take you through an hour of making and tasting with more information than you'll ever want. We're going to take the class to about an hour, and then there will be tastings for those of you in person. So sorry for those of you at home. A cooking class from the Park Slope Food Co-op squad comes out every month. So next month is going to be a quick pickles for spring. If anybody's interested, go ahead on our website and sign up. And then I'm going to let you guys take it away. You go, Jake.
Okay, I'm mic'd up, so I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi.
Introduce yourself so we know who's who.
Yeah. Jake here. I'll give you a little overview of the class and what we're going to do here today. So we're going to make hot sauce. That's Hot Sauce 101. And we'll teach you how to make hot sauce. And we're going to use the same ingredients, and we will show you how to make 3 different sauces using those ingredients. We have a fresh sauce, we have a fermented sauce, and we have a roasted sauce. So some of that we had to start ahead of time. See the fermenting jar there that's been sitting a few weeks. Roasting peppers are currently in the oven, and we have the fresh ones right in front of us. So let's do a little safety before we start. You'll see some of my friends here are wearing gloves. Anytime we're handling hot peppers, we want to make sure that we are wearing these gloves, because once you touch them, depending on the heat level, it could be a while before that heat comes off, and you don't want to touch your eyes or, your anything else.
Yeah, I would say fun science lesson for the moment. Capsaicin, which I'll talk more about later, is the thing that makes peppers hot, is fat soluble. It will dissolve in the oils in your hand. It is hard to get off of your hand once it's in there. If you don't use gloves, if it seeps through, wash your hands with dish soap. It's more effective than hand soap.
That's right. Another safety item, as you can see, as the class has started, we just shut off the stove. And what are we doing over there, Jocelyn?
What? Oh. We are boiling the hot sauce bottles.
That's correct. And we're boiling the bottles because we want to make sure that they're sterile, right? If we want to bottle up some sauce, we're going to make it so that it's shelf stable and it can sit out for an extended period of time. We want to make sure that we're starting with a sterile environment. Any questions before we begin?
How long have those been fermenting?
We got that into that jar on our counter, I would say, between 3 and 4 weeks ago.
So a while.
Yeah, a typical ferment, I would say you're safe with about 2 weeks. Ferments are pretty active. I'll talk more about it kind of later in the class, but you see a lot of bubbling happening while it's going, and when the bubbles stop is sort of when you're not getting any more flavor out of it. We just bought ourselves some lead time for class.
Awesome.
Which means we had to finalize our recipe about 3-4 weeks ago to ensure we were making the same sauce that we are today with all the fresh ingredients. So things that are always available in the co-op we will be using. Going through the ingredients, do Jocelyn and Dahlia want to walk up some of the ingredients to show everyone? So first, Jocelyn's going to be coming by with these red bell peppers. Adds a little bit of sweetness to the sauce. Dahlia behind her has the red habanero peppers. That's where the heat's coming from. Anyone want to try a pepper? Yeah. Yeah.
Where's the whipped cream?
Am I just passing the bowl then?
If you wanna eat one, go ahead. I would maybe sniff it first and see. Probably. Yeah, gloves would be smart. I wasn't expecting anyone to take me up on that.
Yeah.
Somebody want to try it?
I heard a yes. But yeah.
Can you tell us about the whipped cream?
The particular item in the pepper that makes it hot is capsaicin. Have anyone heard of capsaicin? Yeah. So the whipped cream, what it has in it is casein, which is like an antidote for the capsaicin. So a lot of people will try milk to help out with heat. I prefer whipped cream because it coats your mouth quicker, whereas milk might just swash around and you're just now moving all the heat around. That's the reason for the whipped cream.
And it's delicious.
Yeah, it's fun.
And it's fun.
Tasty
Yeah.
snack while you're making hot sauce.
Besides the two peppers that we introduced, there's shallots, carrots, additional sweetness, and garlic. So all of the sauces we are making are with those ingredients, plus our friend over here, which is apple cider vinegar. All right.
Let's get started.
So let's get started. We're going to put all these fresh ingredients in a pot and get it simmering.
Okay. I'll scooch by. Is this the biggest pot?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, the end. Are these the biggest pots we have?
Let's use this one.
Okay.
So these fresh ingredients.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold off, put them all in. I just don't think I can fit them.
And so you're just boiling those in water?
Just get it to a simmer. A little bit of water.
And roughly how much of each ingredient? Just for anybody who's not like looking
I don't
at
have
the
it written in
recipe,
front of
does
me.
anybody know?
Do you know off the top of your head?
Vaguely, it looks like there's maybe 2 cups of the hottest ones, 2 whole red bell peppers, I guess 1 cup of garlic, and 1 cup of shallot.
Yeah,
Just
and
eyeballing, you know.
and a carrot and a half.
And a carrot and a half.
Dolly, you want to say that again?
Oh no. Yes, I can.
Talk
I
quick.
think. What did I say? A couple of cups of the hottest peppers, 2 whole red bell peppers, a carrot and a half of carrot, a large carrot, maybe a cup of garlic, and a cup of shallot. But you can kind of eyeball things. It's more of an art than a science.
And would that give you like roughly a bottle of hot sauce? A couple bottles?
No, I think this is a couple bottles worth, right, guys?
Yeah, that will probably fill, I would say, at least 3-ish of, I don't know what the bottles are. There they are. About 3-ish of these bottles. So that's what you might buy in a store. I'm going to
And
say.
those
kind of
look like they're
hot,
pretty
so,
small, so they're like 6 ounces.
These should be either 5 or 8 ounce bottles. I'm
Okay.
not sure. Your standard hot sauce bottle.
Got it.
You don't really want a bottle any bigger than that.
I used to co-op sell hot sauce bottles.
Unfortunately, no. We looked. They did not have them downstairs. You could always put it in a small mason jar. You're not beholden to the hot sauce bottle. We just like the look. It's purely for aesthetics. And for portion control, because if you pour a lot on food, you might regret it later.
Like an eyedropper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I call them the fun stoppers. On the top of the
Well, they
bottle.
have that little. They have the little stopper
Yeah,
on
yeah,
top
they're
to
somewhere.
make sure that you don't accidentally ruin your meal. You're a big hot sauce fan.
Okay, great. So, quick thought process here. So we put it in the pot with a little bit of water, just enough to cover, getting it to a simmer. I'm going to let that ride probably for about 15 minutes. We're going to blend it later when it's done. Really, the only reason I'm doing that is to soften these guys up before blending. You don't actually need to cook any of these ingredients for this sauce. It's a sauce. The way it gets to shelf stable, we will talk about later, but Jake pointed out the vinegar. And effectively, our goal is to bring it to a point of acidity where it can maintain shelf stability. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we actually get to using it. But that's the idea.
Max, how did we get into making hot sauce?
Oh, that's a good. That's you want to repeat it into the mic, or?
But Max, how did we get into making hot sauce?
Great question. I think we actually all got into hot sauce in an entirely different way, so we might need to pass the mic around again. For Dahlia and myself, it was mostly the COVID lock-in, I would say, for us. I started fermenting things sort of at random. when we were all locked inside for a while. Everyone went down their own rabbit hole. That was mine. A very common thing to ferment happens to be hot sauce. So at one point, Dahlia bought me a fermentation kit and a cookbook, and then after a while had to take them from me because our fridge was filled with too many bottles of hot sauce that we couldn't possibly eat. You want to pass the mic around?
Jocelyn and I took up gardening during the pandemic. We unfortunately moved out of the city, and during that time had the ability to grow a ton of stuff. One of which we really fell in love with, which is peppers, and we still grow those here in Park Slope. They take up a pretty small footprint, so easy to do. And we just love spicy food. So we started making all sorts of sauces. Maybe someday Jocelyn will lead the chimichurri and pesto class. But yeah, today we're doing the hot sauce. And I started doing fresh and roasted sauces with Joss at our home using our freshly grown peppers. We ran into Max and Dahlia, who I hadn't seen Max in probably 15 years or so, and then we both found out that we were making our own hot sauces with our own peppers that we were growing 2 blocks away from each other. So we combined forces and now mix our peppers. Today we're using co-op peppers because it is not harvest season, but find us in September or October and we will be bottling sauces made from our garden.
Where can we find your sauces?
You can find them in our refrigerators.
So you don't sell them?
No.
This is a passion project of ours.
That would be cool, though.
Yeah.
But maybe this is the beginning of something great.
Yeah.
A brilliant
Of
business.
a brilliant
idea.
business.
Yeah, we did look it up. You do legally in New York at least have to work out of a ghost kitchen, at least a professional kitchen, if you were going to sell food products.
So we just have to be your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, good
Yeah.
to know.
Do you want to talk about what is in what is growing in our garden right now?
I would love for you to show everyone how easy it is
Right now?
to start your hot pepper garden.
All right, I can do that now. All right. So as Jake was saying, we live. If you haven't noticed already, we're a couple. We are really big into gardening, and so I have some of the seeds here that we have left over from chopping. And one big thing that we do every year is when we all make the hot sauce, we save the seeds, and then you can actually plant the fresh ones in, or because the timing's a little off, we normally leave and dry some of the peppers in our pantry and open them up and plant them in this time in the beginning of the summer, or I guess spring, early spring now, and then they go on the ground. They're very easy to grow. Peppers, they take 90 to 120 days to germinate. They actually love heat and they love stress, so they're very foolproof. We have found that we actually just moved our babies out into our garden way too early, and a lot of them unfortunately passed away. But the chilies survived, and the chilies will probably
Our baby seedlings.
no, our real baby is alive and well. But our but we do have a whole baby parsley and cilantro, and that was too early. But all the chilies survived, and that's just a testament of when you guys are making your own hot sauce, you can save the peppers and grow them in any soil anywhere, and they love stress. So the more stressed out the peppers are, the more heat that they get, the better and spicier they are. And then at the end of the season, we rinse and repeat, and that's how we all became such close friends and became the hot sauce crew. So anyways, I have to hold this, so maybe you can narrate while I'm doing this, but it's not hard. You just take the seeds here, right? And you guys know the meme salt bay. It's not very millennial where they do things like this. Yeah, it's pretty easy. You just sort of we brought a pot, but really
See what you're doing.
what we
And
do.
if anybody wants to see what I'm filming, you can look on
You
the
can
screen.
look, yeah. What we do is actually we start them in egg cartons, and we just kind of try to put 1 or 2 in each spot. But really, they grow really easily, so I kind of just try to spread it out and put pepper seeds, here and there. And then we'll probably water this by the end of the class, and that'll make sure that, come fall, we have a nice bunch of peppers to make more hot sauce with. And it just, and then we kind of switch off. We have the grandparents and the every generation of peppers, we make more hot sauce, and then we kind of mutate them, and we buy some habaneros here, and we kind of grow them, and you get a whole variety of hot sauces. So
So these are seeds from the peppers that you just chopped.
yeah, and if you guys follow us on Instagram, I guess, or whatever, we're not actually professionals, but you'll see this grow into a plant by the end of the summer, and maybe we can make a co-op branded hot sauce from the plants that we have right here.
Yeah, if they'll allow us to.
Yeah, true, very true.
And how far down did you put them in the soil?
So normally I put them down just about an inch and a half. The babies. One thing about babies is they need enough space to come up. So you don't want them to be too deep, but you also want them to be covered enough that the elements don't blow away the soil and all that. But yeah, so it's the end product is more soil, unfortunately. But if you guys just with the fermentation, if you guys wait with us for a few months, let's take a few weeks, you'll get some nice plants to look at. And they do create about 30 to 50 peppers per plant, so they're very fruitful and very useful. So I highly recommend planting your own seeds.
Yeah, thank you, Jocelyn.
You're welcome.
I think in general, you can do this with any type of pepper. Our favorites are the smaller the pepper, the more peppers you get.
Yeah.
So it makes it more fun.
That's true for cherry tomatoes too.
Mhm.
Are growing them potted indoors, or is this an outdoor growing?
Mostly do it.
They need a lot of sun. Oh, the question was, have we tried growing them indoors?
We don't normally, but so my family, I've been doing hot sauce with my family since I was a kid, and what we do is we bring the pepper plant indoors at the end of summer. The one caution I would say is that you have to basically uproot the entire plant, hose it down, because you might bring insects and pests into your home. But because of the seasonality that we're in here, you can't leave them outside, and I would recommend you put it outside. So if you have a fire escape or anything, the more heat, the more sun, it needs full sun. That's the biggest thing. The better the plant will be.
Okay.
Go ahead. Question?
Do the pepper plants ever attract rats or mice?
Do the pepper plants ever attract?
Yeah, my landlord's convinced that I have these sort of plants in front of my building. I'm going to attract rats.
I think it's going to do the
I think it's
opposite.
the opposite.
So
Do pepper plants ever attract mice and rats? Is that what it was in insects, right? Yeah.
So there are other plants that definitely will, but I find if you plant the peppers throughout your garden, it's going to ward off pests. Similar to there's some other marigolds are a good example of something else that will ward off pests.
Oregano.
It feels like a
Lemon
plant
balm.
that if a rat was attracted to, it would only be attracted to once, kind of thing.
Although rats are weird.
Yeah.
Rats are the exception where I've seen rats eat some strange things, so maybe this rat might like spicy peppers, but typically
Let's go over there.
most pests are not into
All right,
it.
Max,
Anyways,
what do you
we
got
should
over
move
there?
on.
I want to get in here. Actually, I want to pass this around. If anyone wants to take a smell of what this is, I would not recommend drinking it. But if anyone wants to smell our countertop ferment, we can pass it around. This is the fermented jar. Yeah.
Jake, why don't
I'll
you
pass it. Here, just be
give a little bit
cautious.
of an explanation, or Max will do it. Yeah, and I'm just fine.
And are we looking for anything in particular when we smell it?
So I will actually. That's a good point. I should probably start talking about the ferment itself. So there is no starter. This isn't like a kombucha or a yogurt or anything. This is called a lacto ferment, and it's called that not because it's lactase. There's no milk involved, right? But it is the bacteria that grows naturally just on the skin of peppers and a lot of vegetables, quite frankly. Safe to eat. It's not hazardous. It's probably on everything downstairs, quite frankly, on the shelves. But that means you don't actually need anything really to start the fermentation process. Same ingredients that we pointed out are in that jar and have been for a few weeks. The only addition is salt water. So we added a 3% brine of salt water, just enough to cover, and that's all you need to start kicking off the fermentation process. What you will notice from a lacto ferment is sort of a funkiness to it. That's the best way I think I can describe it. It probably smells a little spicy. That's just because there's a bunch of habaneros in there. The kind of consistent thing from any lacto ferment, hot or not, is going to be that funky smell to it. And hopefully that comes through at the end of the class when you're tasting the different sauces. I'm going to get back there so I can retrieve this jar at the end. Sorry for everybody on the Zoom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that 2% brine raw ingredients, or is that also cooked for?
It is literally salt water by weight. So,
I mean, sorry, raw ingredients. Raw.
oh yeah, raw. These were not cooked. They were just chopped up. I peeled the skin off of the shallots and garlic kind of thing, but yeah, no cooking was involved in this. We are going to do the same simmer. I'm going to actually get my holding the colander for me. I'm going to use 2 hands to pour. I feel like it's going to splatter a little bit. We are going to do the same cooking that we're doing with the other one. There is a slightly, I would call it an extra reason for it, right? For the raw or roasted, we do it mostly just to break down the pectin in plants. It makes it easier to blend. For the ferment, it also stops the fermentation process. So if there's any ferment kind of still happening, you want to kill that, mostly because if you don't, and then you bottle it at the end, it can continue to produce gas and then blow up the bottle that it's in. It's not like hazardous to your health, but it's like broken glass is hazardous to your health, so we try to avoid that part. Thank you. If you want
to on Zoom that Max is a great teacher, really enjoyed the science and love the shirt.
Who was it? Is it my mom? It's probably my mom.
Mrs. Max.
Yeah. Here, I can, we'll walk into the sink. Don't dump it. I just want to not spill everywhere.
Max, are these kept at room temperature?
Yeah.
Not to ferment?
Room temperature, literally on our kitchen counter, ideally away from sunlight. Probably wouldn't kill anything, but just to make sure the sun doesn't do anything harmful to the bacteria, we're trying to keep that culture alive.
How often are you like burping? I see you're burping it.
So we aren't, and normally you would. What we did not bring today was that we have an alternate top to our mason jar.
What do you call the top, Max?
We call it a nipple. So there is an insert, right? Most mason jars have these lids. The middle comes out. We bought nipple inserts to let the gas out. It's really just like, it looks like a rubber nipple.
Like a baby bottle.
Yeah, like
So
a
it
baby
sort of
bottle.
works itself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just lets gas out without letting air in.
And that way you can, go on vacation for a week and you're not worried about your kitchen blowing up.
Yeah. If you want to experiment at home before investing money and you just have a mason jar, you can just burp it. When it gets to bubbling, it'll change how often you need to, right? But at least I would say once a day and you should be okay. If it's a really violent fermentation, in your home, it's never going to hurt it to burp it extra times. Again, you don't want the jar to explode on your counter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty easy, small investment to make if you're going to ferment anything.
Okay. I'm going to put these on the, is this guy going to burn me? No, we're okay. Actually, let's just, I'll just bring that here.
So just tell us what's happening.
Yes, so taking the drained fermented stuff, fruits, veg, whatever you want to call it, okay. Get out of there, and cooking it the same way we are cooking the other ones. You can add some water. You don't even really have to, but I like to, just to get a little simmer going. And again, the reason is twofold. One, to soften, so it's easier to blend later. Less important for the ferment because some of those, like the cellulose walls, kind of naturally break down during the fermentation process, but mostly to kill the ferment. So we're going to probably let that run for 10 to 15 minutes just to kill everything in there.
Is it medium heat, high heat? What?
I go for like medium heat, just get to like high, then lower if you need to. I usually just get it to like a simmer in general. That's hot enough.
And is there anything in particular you're like looking for to know that the ferment is gone?
No, I mostly just looked up online what like overkill
Like how
was.
long?
Yeah. At 15 minutes, there should be nothing alive in there. Probably by 10 minutes, there's nothing alive in there, truthfully.
And the reason we did the fresh ingredients first is because they didn't get the benefit of a almost month-long ferment to soften them.
No, we need that.
So as we want to blend them later, we give them more time on the stove than we're going to give the roasted or the fermented ingredients.
One other thought, if the fume hood would turn on, I think it would be on. If anyone's throat is a little tickly after just inhaling a bunch of spicy pepper ferment, I apologize.
I just noticed it.
Yeah. There's also I'm choking a little bit because I'm standing over this bowl. It is just kind of getting in the air. I don't have anything to do about that in this room, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, open your windows if you're going to do this at home.
Yeah. If you have a fume hood that works,
Yeah.
turn it on. If I'm coughing, I am not sick. It is just that. All right. Do you want to do Scoville? Scoville next?
Let's hold this. Okay. Let me ask this group, which I think is a very smart one, so I think we'll have the answer pretty easily. But we have a bell pepper and a habanero. Does anyone know what's the difference between these two peppers scientifically? There are probably a few answers to that question. If anyone wants to volunteer a thought.
That one's more concentrated because it's smaller.
Probably. There's a molecule in particular, and it's called capsaicin. We covered that a bit earlier, but essentially, it's something that we can measure pretty precisely, and is tied to what we referred to earlier also as the Scoville scale. So the Scoville scale was developed in 1912 by someone named Wilbur Scoville. And originally it was set up as a taste test, but has since pivoted to be more scientific. It's chemistry based versus purely taste based. There are units called the Scoville heat units, which is a representation of how many times capsaicin must be diluted before heat is undetectable. So to give you a sense or an anchor for what we're talking about, yeah, I'm sorry.
There's enough fluid in there. I'm
We
gonna put this
expected-
closer to the window.
If you put a bell pepper has no Scoville heat units, and something like a habanero has 100,000 to 350,000 Scoville heat units. And I think that these peppers can go all the way up to something like 10 million Scoville heat units.
Pure capsaicin is 16 million Scoville heat units. And you'll notice on some of the hot sauces that are mass distributed, they will put pure capsaicin in there to get that extra level of heat. We're going all natural today.
I would not recommend trying pure capsaicin. It's bad for your health.
Yeah. So the heat that you, oh, go ahead. What's that? Probably not, right?
I mean, that's a,
The question was, does that mean that there is nothing spicier than 16 that has more than 16 million Scoville heat units?
Not to date, but we are, we're working on it.
yeah. I moved the bowl to the window. I think the fume hood's turning on. Hopefully that makes us all.
Make sure you might have to speak up a little. Make sure you really hold it
Okay.
close.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. And then just another couple fun facts for you guys. The heat that you taste when you're eating spicy food isn't actually a taste or a flavor. It's actual pain. So capsaicin binds to certain receptors that actually cause pain. And so your brain is sort of being tricked in those moments. And something that has dairy in it is able to neutralize that chemical reaction that's happening to make you feel better. Cool.
Yeah. I would add one thing. If you do ever consume anything that is like way up there, you might end up like hospitalized. Like there is no you taking a shot of pure capsaicin. It's just not a thing. There's no challenge on the internet. It doesn't
Don't
work.
do it.
Yeah, it just burns right through you. Yeah.
Is that what they put on like those one chip challenges?
I don't know if I know the one chip challenge things. It's similar to like hot ones. I'm like, no, that's hot sauces, I
One
guess.
chip challenge.
Yeah.
I've heard of it. I'm not sure what they put on the chips, but I've heard some bad stories. So I'm not gonna go for that today.
There is no one chip challenge here. What is next? Should we pull things out of the oven?
I think Jocelyn's up with the roasting. Yeah. So how long, Max, has this been roasting now?
We got these peppers in the oven at 425. I don't know where trivets are. About 10 minutes before most of you all arrived here today. So I would say they've been there for about 35 minutes maybe. Not an exact science. We are really just here to try and experience getting some char flavor. This oven doesn't have a broiler, as we learned after we got here. You could probably do it in far less time if you broil. You could do a roast and then a broil. Again, this is purely flavor profile, so it's kind of dealer's choice. Determine what you like, and I am sorry for everybody choking in the room. I do feel personally responsible for that. So. Ooh.
Ta-da!
Pretty. So, for the people on Zoom, everyone in the room is suffering from a smell in the air, and the question was, where is the smell coming from? It is probably more from the cooking at this point than anything else. As you cook, right, we're literally boiling some of the liquid that had the capsaicin in it. It's basically aerosolizing this painful chemical, as we just learned about, and that's probably what's getting you. This is not a great ventilated room. I think most apartment kitchens might actually be better ventilated than the show kitchen. So it probably won't be this bad if you try this at home. Hopefully you have a window in your kitchen. That's where I'd go with this.
And so for the roasting, you roasted the garlic, everything got roasted.
Every single ingredient that you saw in the jar and that you see on the table, we threw in a pan and threw in the oven. With the exception of salt water.
And how long did you roast it for?
These went in about 40 minutes ago, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
So
were
this was
roasting at
pretty much
425.
Like 425.
Yeah.
I don't know where the
I
other mics are.
like this way the best. This is a nice method. It gives it a nice sort of caramelized. You want to get in there to the picture, looking at the camera. There you go, right? This gives it a really nice caramelized flavor. The carrots kind of the sugars and the acids start to break down. What's it called? Maillard? Maillard
you. I was
reaction.
going for the
I'm
duck
never
name.
able to
Maillard,
say
thank
that.
you.
The mallards and the mallard, but I do remember it that way. It's the how you say it?
Maillard. Like
Maillard.
That's a Y in it.
It's
Yeah.
the Maillard reaction, not exclusive to hot sauce. It can be applied to pretty much any food. When your peppers get sweet, when your onions get sweet in the heat, it does change the way the flavor tastes.
Could you speak up a little?
I don't think I can hear you over the
Can you hear me now? Should I stand over here? Is it better if I'm standing over here? Okay, I was just saying, first of all, take a look at the beautiful mix of roasted things. This is my favorite. Can you guys hear me now if I stand very kind of weird like this? Okay. Yeah, I like this hot sauce the best because it caramelizes everything. It does the Maillard.
Maillard.
The Maillard reaction, which I was saying helps break down sort of like carrots, onions, anything really, and to make it more sweet, more sugary. And so what you guys will start to see now is with the 3 different methods as you're cooking it, right? This one might have more of that like earthier, bigger, charred flavor, whereas the fresh ones might be a little bit tangier. The fermented ones, a little.
I'd say
Funk.
Funkier is the word we're using. So yeah, I'm excited for you all to try this, but this is my favorite, so I'm excited for you all to see this as well. And this will also be simmered just like the other ones, so you'll get to see and get a sense of what your favorite hot sauces will be.
You might not need to simmer that one. It looks pretty broken down.
Actually, yeah, maybe
Yeah.
we don't.
You could probably just
Might be
put it straight
easier
in the
not.
blender.
Maybe it
Um,
might be easier to just leave it the way it is.
let's do the guy who is simmering longer. The fresh one here. I'm going to kill the heat. You want to do that? Yeah.
I did not bring an version.
Oh, well, that'll do it. How do I turn this off? Oh, there we go. I turned it off. Success. All right. Might want to do this part over the sink. All right, so everybody, this was the fresh sauce, the untouched ingredients. It's been simmering for a while. I'm not exactly sure how long. We'll call it 15 minutes. We're going to dump all of it into the blender, liquid and all. Yeah, I'm going to do it over the sink, so come with me. Yeah. Yeah, I can do it on this one if that's easier.
We're still cooking the fermented, but maybe once that's.
Probably not much longer.
So for the people in the
You're
audience,
pouring the liquid into the.
you guys can't hear me if I do this,
This is-
better, right?
A lot of volume.
They're just pouring it into the blender, and then they'll be blending it. Ta-da!
This
Blended
is
hot
probably
sauce.
a little more liquid than I want. I'm just going to dump some. Don't need too much. You are going to add vinegar at the end of the process, so you don't need to worry too much about how much liquid. You just need enough that it'll blend. Ooh, lost one. A little more. I'm not really measuring. I'm kind of just eyeballing it, so there's no hard instruction. Thank you. Yeah. They have a nice Vitamix here. That's great. If you have an immersion blender at home, you can do it right in the pot. That was our plan A. We forgot to bring that. But this is great. So I'm going to pulse this a few times. Just get some of this stuff out of the way. Yeah. In addition to the mess that a blender will normally make, if you don't hold the lid down, this mess is really spicy and hot. So definitely keep a firm grip on the lid. Is this plugged in? That would be a good starting point. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, plugging in your blender is always a good first step. Hey, the light's on. That's good. Yeah, you want to do it? Okay. There you go.
Beautiful.
Probably
It
good
really
enough.
didn't take very long at all.
No, this is a much nicer blender than I have at home. If anybody has the commercial grade, yeah, I'm just going to take the lid off. Here it is. That is roughly the consistency it looks like. It does not look like Tabasco right now. It doesn't look like Cholula. This is Hot Sauce 101, and we're not going to bother straining it today, I believe, right? We said not straining?
Not today.
Okay.
We both have our differences in preference, right? I love a hot sauce that's like this, like a little chunky. I know Max's preference would be let's strain it and tell them what you love to put in after that.
We're like Cholula people at home, I would say. So our move is strain. You can use a cheesecloth. You can use a wire mesh. It's a little annoying. It's a little time intensive, but you basically strain all the solids out, and then we would add xanthan gum at the end. Very little. It could take like not even a quarter of a teaspoon would be enough to thicken this whole thing, and just mix that in. Sorry, now this is right under my nose. To get the end kind of thickened, but not like liquid result. So if you're looking and you're buying the normal hot sauces, I would say Tabasco is a strained, not thickened sauce. Very vinegary, very loose. Cholula is basically the same thing, but you added something like xanthan gum or some form of gum as a thickening agent to get that, I don't know how else to call it besides goopy consistency. But I like that.
Yeah, great. What next?
Right. What next, I guess, is when we get it towards the finished state. We mentioned at the beginning that we wanted these to be shelf stable for a long time, right? The way we get to shelf stable is not actually from the cooking we just did, although that probably does help. It is the acidity of what we make. So vinegar enters the game. We chose apple cider vinegar today. You can choose, just like you could choose any pepper, just like you could choose kind of any fixings, you could choose any vinegar, right? And that's going to change the flavor profile of your sauce.
I like an apple cider vinegar. Adds a little bit of sweetness, which is always good in a hot sauce, in my opinion. But everybody has their own. You could use anything like Max said. pH. People have heard of this back in school, right? Scale 0 to 14, acid, basic. So 7 is neutral. In order to be shelf stable, we want to aim for between a 3 and a 4. I like to go right in the middle. 3.5. So we got this little nifty tool here that I could just stick right in the sauce, and it's going to give me a pH reading. Max, you have something else for those at home who are just dabbling?
If you want the cheaper investment, I think I had it in here. I don't actually know anymore. Yep, there it is. And you want to relive your kind of high school chemistry days, you can literally buy off Amazon. Yeah, let me get back in here. A roll of what is pH strip. So if you are doing this often enough that you can use the electric tool is really nice. If you are infrequent, you can also just rip a piece of pH tape off. Not tape, I guess. Paper. Dunk it right in the fluid. This is going to be pretty, actually I'll just do it right now. This is not acidic yet, so it shouldn't really do too much. I mean, I guess the capsaicin has some. Doesn't take very long. The paper turned green, and you can see from the little label, throw that here, that's probably somewhere in the 5-ish.
I'm calling it 4.75. That's final answer.
Between 4.5 and 5.
So the acidity changes the color of the paper.
Yeah. It's the literal exact same paper you probably use in like high school chemistry.
Yeah, and the reason that we want to get between that 3 and the 4 is because that's for safety. If we're within that threshold, then we can stave off bacteria like botulism, which we don't want to consume.
If it's more acid, would it impact the taste?
Yes, it's going to impact the taste either way. All right, let's give it a whirl.
Yeah.
And the lower the number, the more acid.
Yes.
Correct.
So just as a point of
Ooh,
reference.
what do we got here?
Oh yeah, how close is my paper read?
It's going down. Can you see that on the camera?
Kind of, yeah. 5.3, 5.34, 5.31. Have a countdown.
It's going slow. We had an over/under on the 4.75. Anyone? Yeah, got the over. All right, who's on Kalshi?
Yes.
All right, looks like we're leveling off around 5.23. So let's add some of this apple cider vinegar.
I will
What
say
is the pH typically of like a jarred vinegar?
usually it's in the like 3s. This is more basic than normal. I actually just was looking for that number on the side of the bottle. Varieties of vinegar are going to have different levels of acidity. That actually said 5, which is surprisingly basic, but we're going to see if it actually changes the pH here. And if it doesn't, we have a very spicy plan B that I'm just going to talk about now because we kind of segued into it nicely. The ferment brine. You'll notice there's a bowl. I kept it. It's making us all choke to death, but it's over by the window, hopefully alleviating that a little bit. One
There's the culprit.
side, yeah, right there. One side effect, the other one down, I think. All right, one side effect of the fermentation process is that saltwater brine that you start with kind of absorbs a lot of the flavor and consistency of the pepper, but also becomes more acidic over time naturally. So as we finish these sauces, in addition to the funk of the ferment, you also have the option to mix your brine and your vinegar to change the flavor profile, as long as it gets that right level of acidity.
Coming down.
Yeah, it's now going down below 4.5. So we'll probably need a little bit more vinegar. I like to go slow with the vinegar because once you go too acidic, you know.
Can't really come back.
Yeah, now we're talking about adding more of these fresh ingredients. Yeah, so let's add some of that.
Okay, we'll get there. Yeah. No spray this time. That's nice. All right. And while he was doing that, I went and gave a quick read of the brine just in case we need to use it in all of the sauces. It looks like this is going down though. The brine is a pH of about 3 right now. So that is pretty acidic. It'll get us there. Although this is working.
We're below 4 now.
Yeah.
What do you think?
What was that?
Drop more? 4.9
Make it a little more.
or 3.9?
Yeah. We did get the 15-minute.
15-minute.
Wrap
All
up.
right. So let's
Yeah.
finish this guy up,
Yeah.
and we'll start with one of the other ones. We can start tasting our fresh sauce.
Yeah. I was just gonna get these so we could pour sauce into it.
All right. 3.87.
I'm gonna call that good enough.
Call that good enough? I'm
Yeah.
going to give it a little splash.
Okay.
So once we hit the right pH, we're gonna try to one of the other sauces.
Yeah. We're gonna do the same thing 2 more times, basically. Yeah.
If you make it too acidic, we have all these fresh ingredients that we didn't use, and we can put those on the stove and soften them up.
Yeah.
Oh.
You might.
Is there a trick?
There isn't really a good trick if you don't have something basic to dilute with.
You're not gonna
taste
like
bad?
put baking soda in your
Yeah,
hot sauce?
I wouldn't
use
enjoy
water.
it. Yeah, I guess you could thin with water. That would change the consistency. Most of the time, I think you might just be a little stuck with it, which is why, to Jake's point, we kind of go a little at a time until we get to where we want to be. Yeah, yeah. You know, the pH didn't change too much. Like sometimes we might taste between rounds and then cater that way, but
Okay.
just a little at a time so you don't overdo it is pretty much the move. It's hard to recover from. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Got to free up the blender now to do it again.
Almost it, almost.
Well, we have these bowls over here.
I need help.
Okay. Okay.
There we go. All right. Anyone want to be the first? First to take? We got a hand. What's your name, sir? Jim. All right. Where are our chips?
In there.
Well, you got some already in a bowl.
Oh, perfect.
Amazing. Actually,
I'll-
Jocelyn, can I get hands for a
Do it
second?
with you, Jim.
Awesome.
That's
all
fine.
right.
Can you lift? It's not hot
We're
anymore.
doing the roasted
Yeah.
peppers now.
Cheers.
Yeah. Give me a little more tilt.
So just, can you make an announcement that that was the fermented one?
Fresh.
This was the fresh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Jim tasted the fresh sauce with me. I feel some brightness, some tang. Jim, any notes?
Well balanced.
Well balanced, Jim says. A good kick, not overwhelming. Thank you. Anyone else wants to come up and try some? We have these chips. We got a bowl of sauce out here.
You guys, in theory, can all get up.
Yeah, everyone came here because they like hot sauce, I assume.
For the condiments, we're gonna keep using condiments.
Yeah.
Can you set it on the low setting and gradually move it higher?
That's a question from the chat.
Oh.
That's a request.
That's more of a demand, I think.
A request.
We will do that.
Is it loud? Is that?
Well, I think it's because it explodes off the top.
someone knows how to use a Vitamix.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Started on low and turned up. Thank you.
It's good enough.
That's good to know.
Noted.
Okay. Hot sauce number
Yeah, we do.
two.
We do. We have
Start it
we
low,
have
Yep.
salt
gradually. That's what the
It actually was
that I put
pretty
over here and we
low,
forgot to add.
Add a little fluid to it.
Okay.
I forgot to add water for those watching at home. I'm just going to go straight to the vinegar, though.
And Jim, with the roasted one, we salted and olive oiled.
So we're adding vinegar preemptively.
Mm-hmm. Instead of water, because I know I'm going to need it.
Not quite
You
there.
should
Yeah, I think I need to
try
yeah,
some
I
of the
need
sauce.
a little bit more liquid. I'm going to do water so that I don't overdo it on the vinegar.
You need a cup. Oh, you got
I'm
it.
just going to, yeah.
Has anyone in here done the one chip challenge? Now I'm curious. No?
I Googled it. It says California Carolina Reaper or other types.
How do I use this thing?
Hot.
Any general thoughts or responses from the audience on the hot sauce? It's spicy. It's spicy.
That's that.
I see some thumbs up.
Fresh, spicy. All right, that's good feedback.
Yeah.
So soon we'll have a another batch, different flavor profile. Would love to hear your take on that one too. Um, Thank you, Max. Normally we do add salt, especially to the fresh one. Now the roasted roasted ingredients have salt and olive oil on them before they roast. And then the brine that the fermented one has is a saltwater brine. So yeah, those already have salt. This
Oh, I
one,
didn't know we had that.
I just forgot to add the salt. So yeah, we would normally, before we bottle it up, we'll add salt.
Okay. Well, I will pivot to that then.
I have not. It would just really thicken it up.
I got it. Yeah.
I have whipped cream. Just we brought this in case anyone needed some.
There's dairy and there's an oat whipped cream. Did you have another question? No.
I think that's pretty
Let
good.
her finish her question first.
This one almost looks like creamier than the other one.
Yeah, we had less water, I think, overall. And I think
Oh,
that's mostly what's in
absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
I
So
will also add
yeah,
this with the
lemon
roasted
juice, lime
peppers.
juice, any
We could
citrus.
use olive oil for the roast, and I think
We've
that's
done
also
sauces
kind of
with
emulsifying,
peaches when they're in season. Amazing.
partially part of
We
the
were talking about it's almost
problem and
rhubarb
solution.
season. We're going to do a rhbarb sauce.
Yeah, you're mad.
This is hot sauce 101, so we're showing like a basic sauce, but yeah, we get pretty funky.
Okay, we have hot sauce number 2.
Hot sauce number 2. Did we
Um,
pH it or?
We did not pH it, actually. I should do that. That's a good reminder. We did have a fun side effect that I don't think any of us planned for, and that there was a bunch of olive oil in here from the roasted peppers, and I believe a lot of it emulsified as I was blending, so this is going to be a much thicker sauce. That probably needs a little more vinegar.
A little bit more, yeah.
Right, do you normally drain the olive oil before mixing it?
We don't really do a roasted sauce at home very often, I think. So
I've done a roast,
it's my lack of
um,
preparedness.
and it hasn't. We haven't had any issues with it. I don't, maybe it was just a little more olive oil than normal, making a big batch.
I like the roasted sauce.
I didn't get the last question, but I was curious about, was it about vinegar alternatives?
Can you repeat that?
Sorry.
I was just wondering if you could repeat what you just said about using anything else besides vinegar.
Yeah, so citrus is a good acidic, but you can use anything anything with a low pH to get it down. It's really up to you and your experimentation. That's part of the fun, right? Is you have your base set of ingredients. Like I know when I'm making sauce, I'm always using garlic, shallot, pepper, and then the rest of it is sort of like, what are we doing today? So what's in season, like the peaches or the rhubarb. Yeah, Max made a blueberry one. Absolutely. I've done a hot sauce with mezcal, so it was more of a, I think, what did we use for that? Cayenne pepper. Yeah, and that's nice because it gives it a nice smoky flavor there. Make sure to cook it. How depends on how much you're making. A shot, maybe 2 shots. I've done one with whiskey. I've yeah, I was gonna. So if you're familiar with like a duck fat or any fat washing, there's cocktails out there where they'll wash the spirits with different fats, coconut oil or beef fat or duck fat or anything. You can do the same thing with vinegar. So that's like you can do like a bourbon bacon hot sauce.
Maybe this is blasphemy to ask here, but I feel like we're so close to the realm of salsa. Like, how do you all think about the differentiation between salsa and hot sauces? And like, do you ever dabble in that realm, or is that verboten?
No, I've definitely made salsas before. Yeah.
I mean, the only difference is vinegar and like fermentation. Like, how would you characterize the difference?
I made a little mess of myself. I actually have made a salsa verde themed hot sauce before, actually, and I just used tomatillos in the ferment.
Yeah.
There's not too much of a difference. I think salsa tends to lean itself more towards like fresh ingredients, which you can do with the fresh sauce, but I think something like a cilantro tends to get lost in a hot sauce the way it doesn't. And also, yeah, I mean, you can use tomatoes in both, I would say, but yeah, I think there's more of a tomato base. I would also say just like the size of the things you're dicing. I feel like salsa just tends to be a chunkier thing. I'm going to wipe my hands off because
I would think of it portion size as well, right? If you're going to get a big chip or a spoonful of something, that's more of like a salsa versus like I want a few dashes of hot sauce.
What about barrel aging? Have you ever experimented with any of that?
No, that would be fun.
Yeah.
I want a bowl. Can you pass me a bowl? Oh wait, I have one right here.
Okay, so did we do all 3 or we just have 2?
We have two. This is number 2. A little bit more. And there's your roast. I'm going to find another receptacle.
We just get everyone up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay that we're a little over time. Okay. Yeah, I just need to free up the blender.
We could taste as we're blending too.
Let's just not even blend it.
Okay.
I don't know how this thing works.
All right. If you want to bring the camera in, we can sort of see, if we look at them side by side, there's a color difference between those two.
Somebody call my phone close up. Okay,
Oh, on your left is going to be the fresh, and on the right is going to be the roasted. On the camera right,
Stage right.
Camera right. So camera right is the.
roasted.
Maybe
Yes.
help me.
And that's
Well,
the one that's got
I
some
want to
olive oil
hold this
in it.
up.
Yeah, which you can
Scoop
see it's
into-
making it a little
Yeah, the
thicker.
colors even a little bit different. It's more orange, and this one's a little bit more red.
Yeah.
It's like a lobster bisque versus a tomato bisque.
Yeah. Okay, so in go the.
The ferment.
This is the fermented.
Hmm.
That's the funkiest one. I can smell it here.
That smells great.
Yeah. So Max introduced us to the ferment. We would normally do the fresh and the roasted. We introduced us to the ferment, and it adds a nice dimension to it, I think.
Yeah. Do we have measuring cups in
Can we
here?
do that?
Is a good question.
Yeah.
I can just eyeball, but I was gonna. Okay. So one reason I was gonna do measuring cup, I'm not gonna do a measuring cup because I can't find any. Is unlike the other sauces, I'm gonna use the brine that was fermented in addition to the vinegar. So I would normally do like a little half and half. You can kind of experiment based on kind of what you like. This is actually more acidic than our vinegar today. That kind of varies by the vinegar you pick or by how long you ferment, because the longer it goes for, the more acidic it becomes. Yeah. And that's just a byproduct of it. That is a fair oh, sorry, yeah. So the question was, we talked about a live ferment being dangerous because it can basically explode in glass containers. I strained out the solids and then left this uncooked. So what happens there? Conveniently, the bacteria that causes a lactoferment tends to live feeding on the skin of the kind of vegetables. It doesn't really survive in the liquid, so it should remain, it has for me at least, remain on the surface of the vegetables that you're keeping, out of the liquid. So everything should have moved to the pot that's been simmering for a while. It's possible that it wouldn't, but it's still pretty hot even in this blender. So hopefully if anything did survive, it would be a very trace amount that we still kind of kill off. I haven't had anything explode in my fridge yet. So. This looks like it made a little less by volume than the big sheet, so less of this one to go around. Nice and loud. All right.
Just pH.
Yep. My hands are gross. I'm gonna need to wash those later. All right, so we're already in a pretty safe range.
What is it reading?
It is still dropping, but we're down to about 3.6, which is actually
plastic
more
bits.
acidic than the other
It is thick
sauces.
enough?
Out of curiosity, I'm going to let it ride because I just want to see how low it'll get. Basic math dictates it shouldn't be able to get more acidic than its most acidic ingredient, which was the 3.0-ish of the brine. And it looks like it is leveling off in the 3.4s, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, kind of ideal. Yeah. Okay. Last sauce. We have a bowl. What's happening here?
A paper bowl?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a very different color than the other two.
I'm sorry, my
It looks
back
like
is.
salsa.
It does kind of look like salsa.
Let's get a shot of all three.
Yeah.
Here. We got tomato bisque. We got this is more of a creamy tomato bisque. This is more, this is more salsa. And
There
that's
are 3 hot sauces.
fresh, roasted,
Fermented.
Fresh. Say it one more time.
Fresh, roasted,
That's it.
Apologies for the poor who's.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we can say fresh,
Oh,
Fresh,
fresh,
roasted,
roasted,
fermented.
All right.
Let's go back to the main camera, Michael. And
Yeah.
Kind of close out.
Thank you. Yeah, as we are about 10 minutes over time,
That's okay.
I'll say thank you to everybody on Zoom.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
We're gonna do trivia.
I think we're out of time for trivia.
Well, for
We
the
could do
people
live
here.
trivia.
Yeah.
We could do it off-camera trivia.
Yeah.
Special guest for people, or for everyone coming in person.
All right, thanks, everybody.
I'm going to step in for 1 second. I guess
You're on camera.
Am I on mic?
No, just grab it. Yeah, grab this mic.
Grab your mic. Thanks, everybody. For those of you on Zoom, thanks for tuning in. For everybody, the recipes for all of this will be online. Foodcoopcooks.org is the website. Thanks, guys, again.
Thank you for having us.
And then, again, check out foodcoopcooks.org for the next series of classes. We actually have them booked out till the end of the year. And again, May 20th is the Quick Spring Pickles class by yours truly. So we'll see you all next time.
Thanks, everybody.